A image has been circulating among all the different Japanese message boards, and it's a first look at a clean image of that of the Transformers War for Cybertron Kingdom Leader Class Galvatron. Now, we already had some leaked images of mistransformed angles and no heads. We've had some black and white images, and then recently we've had what people are speculating it to be Hasbro panel images of the robot mode. And now we got images of the alt mode, and it's a pretty good indication of how that Cybertronian artillery turret cannon mode is going to look. Obviously, this is based off of the Generation 1 Galvatron, using that Flero Deary Generation 1 character design that was made all those many years ago by that legend himself. What's interesting to take away from this, a few things, is there is some mild tweaks to the final design. It is not a one-for-one interpretation of Flero Deary's design. There is little things that are different. I mean, let's put it this way. I'm going to include it at the bottom of the segment. But, you know, Flero Deary did one kind of design, and then it was slightly tweaked a bit into the final design that was used in the show. The differences between them is extremely small, but they are there. Obviously, there was big color differences too, but the point is that they did a very good job at transferring what was done more than almost 35 years ago into what is here today. And it looks really good. I am very impressed with it. Again, we've had this pursuit for a while now to get a decent retail Galvatron toy based off of a Generation 1 interpretation. I mean, it got to a point where it was like, are they ever going to do it? You know, when we got MP09 Rodimus all those years ago, people were like, well, it's only a matter of time before we get Masterpiece Galvatron. And we've been waiting for 10 plus years now. So it's nice to see this. I have to stress, though, that this is our War for Cybertron Kingdom Galvatron. I don't feel this is something that aesthetically will fit in with your Studio Series 86 stuff. I know some people don't like when I say that. They feel that Studio Series 86 is going to be a one and done thing. It's not. Hasbro's going to milk that as long as they can. And characters come back every so often. So we're going to probably see a revisit to the Generation 1 Galvatron design and alt mode and scale probably in the Studio Series 86 line, if not Masterpiece, within the next 2 to 5 years. So if you're unhappy with what you see here, don't let it be the end of the world. There is more to come. But I do feel that this does serve its purposes. First, from a fictional standpoint of what's going to be happening within the Netflix series and Kingdom. From a companionship standpoint, in that it comes with extra accessories that are something to be compatible with that of the War for Cybertron HasLab Unicron. I was having this discussion with people because the guns that come with Galvatron here, I said how they look like the Revenge, which is Galvatron's ship that was given to him by Unicron, and people were saying, "Oh no, it's the gun that came with Generation 1 Megatron." For people who don't know, the original 1984 Generation 1 Megatron, aka the Microman Walter P38 gun Robo, came with a chrome gun, but the differences they're big differences, and I think that really cements home that the guns that come with this Galvatron here are the Revenge. Is it has the two little tips that are like these two little, I guess, like little pointer tips at the front of the ship, and then it has the two little thruster pilers on the side of them. So I mean, they're really trying to do that. I mean, outside of the color, it's the Revenge, and it's going to be something that, if you saw on my Twitter, I posted some images. They're probably intended, because they're 3mm pegs and they're meant to be held as guns for the robot mode. That 3mm peg is probably going to also be a stand to plug into the Unicron base stand for your little figures and stuff in your ships for the future. Hasbro said that you're going to be getting more of that stuff, so one way or another, through other accessories and packs and stuff. And here's our first example of that for the future. So let's talk about the colors, though. So again, I always felt that the purple is off, but like I said just before, this is our Kingdom Galvatron. It's not trying to be accurate to the 86 movie 100%. For people that aren't aware, 1986 coloring of the Transformer movie was all over the place. Some episodes, some some scenes sport different kinds of lighting and thus give different kinds of color schemes. I mean, Hot Rod's all over the place, Unicron's all over the place, and Galvatron in general has always been more of a bluer kind of, like, it's like a blue going into purple, but it's still more of a darker blue, and that's always how he's been depicted in the 86 movie, again depending on different kind of lighting and stuff. But it's when you get into the Studio Ox depictions of Galvatron, all that, I guess we'll call it like promotional material, story pages, he was always a very strong purple. And then depending on who was doing the coloring of season 3 episodes by ACOM Studios, which it's all over the place in coloring. But I really feel that deep purple that we're seeing here is really a Studio Ox Galvatron. And it adds more credence to the same thing where when I look at the Rodimus that's being given to us for Commander class, how that also has a very Studio Ox kind of flavor to it. I feel that that's kind of what they're going with. And I said it once and I'll say it again, Studio Series 86, we're probably going to see Rodimus revisited at some point, and we're probably going to see Galvatron revisited at some point. So these two versions of these characters that we're getting in Kingdom right now are the Kingdom characters. They look like their Generation 1 counterparts. They're very good interpretations of them. But at the end of the day, they're really made for what's going on within that ecosystem of that line. And I'm not saying this is bad. I'm saying it looks great. I mean, when I look at the alt mode here and how the color distribution is done, ignoring the way that the purple is, let's say that purple was the blue, whatever, it's done very well. It's done very well. It's nice to see a Galvatron cannon that isn't just hooked up to the top of a Galvatron crown. It's actually something that they did a very good job at maintaining the grays and the alternate colors of purple and or blue in the alt mode, and is going to be very different in the robot mode. Again, the tank treads, all the stuff going on there, having a place that you could plug in with the 3mm peg of his pair of guns. Everything looks great. The only question I have now is, does he have that little third tripod piece down the middle that doubles as a handgun mode from the original toy? So I'm very curious if they're going to introduce that too. I think it looks awesome. I really do. I really, really do. I think it works out great. Using the clear plastic on the orange is also a nice touch. I think they did a very good job. I think people are going to be very happy with it. But at the same time, if there is anyone that's kind of not feeling it or feel that there could be some more done here, and because we don't live in a world today where we're going to have some kind of alternate Takara repaint that's going to be more show accurate, chances are if we get a repaint, and there has been leaks and rumors of it, it's going to be toy accurate colors. But if someone is trying to pursue that perfect Galvatron, I'm pretty sure in the future we're going to get a masterpiece and or something from Studio Series 86. Every time we get a Transformer toy of a popular character, there's a evolution of engineering that goes on. As someone who obsesses over Hot Rod and Rodimus, I saw that firsthand we got the Classics one in 2006, kind of reinvented the wheel of how to transform that car into the alt mode. And then when we got the animated version, that really gave a whole new twist on, well, what do we do with that engine? Like, what do we do with the engine that normally would sit on the chest, where when you think about it, like the hot rodded engine in the Classics version in 2006, it just stayed there, even though Hot Rod never had a hot rodded engine on his chest. And so they kind of like reinvented that and figured out a way to deal with the kibble with the animated version. And then it kept growing and growing. And then we got to MP09 Rodimus, which did all kinds of different tweaks there. Then we got to MP, I think it's 26 Hot Rodimus, and then the little tweaks there wasn't perfect. And now we have Studio Series. So there's always little things that are changed and tweaked to get that perfect design. And I feel that Galvatron, who unfortunately hasn't had many, steps up at bat to have those developmental changes, I think we're still in that growing pain stage, and we're almost there. We're almost there. And I think that maybe the next time we see this character in this style, in this version, Generation 1 86, we'll knock it out of the park. But That's not the takeaway from this. This is your Netflix Galvatron Kingdom, Emperor of Destruction madman. And I like it. I think it looks great. I'll definitely want to get it. But at the same time, especially considering, it has those little ships that got to go with my Unicron. But at the same time, I don't think this is the end of this story. I still think there's a lot more coming in the near future. Let me know what you think. I like it. But I still feel there's still more to come in the future.